All right. All right. I think we're good. Okay. Ladies and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to discuss Netflix today. Can it hold its post-market gap off, or is a sell-off imminent? Where precise daily stock levels, our game plan in Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. So many things to discuss, mainly Netflix, maybe a little view of the market overall, and so much more. But first, I would like to say thank you to people who I don't know their names at over at, whoops, not there, at the T3 Live Compliance team. Your screen has gone black. You can't see anything. You are afraid. The light comes on, and you see something that you have to pause on and read its entirety and then hit play when you're done. Thank you so much for reading that. With that being said, wow, where do I start? First of all, this market is a little bit insane. So, just came in with some cron calls, some Chronos Group. I went ahead and sold them. Caught, sold out, caught well, a little over 100% on my options. I got some $1.50 prints on Chronos this morning. And I was able to sell, off a massive gap up. Stock gapped up a dollar, about a dollar and a quarter, and I was able to take some really nice sells. And we did just little trades today. I thought it was a bad trade in terms of, being a tradable trade, but I mean, I did make money on it. I took the Goldman Sachs one and done. I bought through 220.20 when it broke through that level and hit 221.45. So it jumped a dollar and a quarter and then plummeted real quick. Again, nothing I am proud of, nothing that I'm going to go boast upon. Not only that, I took Chronos today and I was able to buy Chronos. If you look at the 5 minute right here, I was able to buy Chronos when it hit 11.79. I'm just going to zoom in a little. And then it bounced and it bounced like 57 cents. Again, I'm doing these little scalp trades because the market has generally been conducive for scalping. I don't really think this is a market where you get super duper excited. Yes, there will always be somebody who makes a lot of money on any given day of the market. I get that. But in terms of a generalization, and when you're dealing with, thousands of people, you have to generalize. And as a generalization, this I don't think was a phenomenal trading day. But at the same time, I've been making trades quite consistently. I've been making money quite consistently on my idea. So I can't complain. I am up money. I was saying earlier in the broadcast that there is something really soothing about making money in a market like this because my tier size is all the way down. I'm not taking heavy size. I'm, barely scraping $1,000. And honestly, it feels good. It honestly feels good because I'm being right all the time, well, all the time, the vast majority of the time on my ideas, and I'm able to capitalize on them. So that, of course, always feels good when you're giving out trades that are easy to catch and easy to make money on. I think the Goldman Sachs, by the way, was hard. Um, with that being said, how about we go into our Netflix earnings review? And you can see Netflix exploded, trading at 384.80 right now, up just a little less than 40 points. And I'm going to give you what I think. I mean, again, I don't like to beat around the bush. I like to tell you exactly how I feel, and then I'd like to tell you exactly how I'm going to approach it. With that being said, earnings sucked. Netflix earnings sucks. Your earnings sucked. This time, worse than last time, worse than last time, worse than last time. Your earnings sucked. Now, why would you say that, Mark? Wall Street doesn't believe that. I told you Amazon earnings sucked last time they reported, and the stock went from up $80 to red. Okay? Do not misconstrue the irrational exuberance of boxes and traders buying something into an earnings report. I'm not saying that Netflix even goes down. Maybe I am. You're going to have to wait and hear my thoughts. Now, what sucked about the Netflix earnings? One, their Q4 numbers were absolutely horrible. Their Q4 projections for the fourth quarter. Here, I'm just leaving up. You know what? I'll leave up a 5 minute. Maybe even a 15 minutes. A little easier to see because we've been pretty much going sideways after the stock exploded. And you know what that tells me? Nobody's willing to buy this garbage. Yeah, it looks like a bull flag pattern. This is such garbage earnings. All right, where do I start? They announced 89 cents versus the 68 cents expected. That sounds good, right? 4 billion in revenue. That matches the 4 billion in revenue. That was expected. They added 6.96 million members. 5.87 million of those were international. That's always good because you're so saturated in the United States of America. And everything looked good there. Those are their Q3 earnings. It looked good. Now, if it looked good, why, Mark, are you saying the earnings sucked? Now let's talk about why they sucked. You know what their Q4 expectations are? So they posted 89 cents versus the 68 consensus. They crushed it, right? They did. But you know what their projections are? Their projections are 23 cents versus the 51 cents expected. So you mean you're projecting to make half, less than half of what the consensus of what Wall Street was hoping you would expect? Yes. They're planning on doing it of revenue just under, but rounded off to $4.2 billion. But Wall Street was expecting 4.23. Now you might be sitting there and saying, Mark, that's not a big deal. 4.2 billion, 4.23 billion. What is 30 million amongst friends, right? All right. This is a company that cannot just remember when I said Amazon can't afford to look bad, and Amazon will go up and down with the market as will Netflix. I get that. I get that. But remember what I said about Netflix and Amazon, especially? Why Netflix and Amazon? Because they have the worst PE ratios or the highest PE ratios, meaning that Netflix, out of the FANG names, the Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, these names are supposed to grow the fastest. Yes, Netflix is supposed to grow faster than Apple. Netflix is supposed to grow faster than Facebook. It's supposed to grow faster than Google if you're following the P ratio as a measurement of growth. Now, when I look at the P ratio of Netflix, I see 157. I see the company is barely, trying to make money here, but they keep dropping so much money on these new shows. The most bullish thing they said is that they're going to lose $3 billion versus the $4 billion expected. That's their bullishness. And that's fine. Honestly, I'm not even being sarcastic. I think that's pretty good. But when I'm sitting here and I'm looking at these Netflix earnings, I'm sitting here and thinking their projections suck. Their projections suck. Not only that, you realize that Netflix is tied into the Forex markets more significantly than a lot of companies. For example, more significantly than Facebook. Yes, they're all tied to the FX markets, but none as much as Netflix. The reason for that is Netflix is trying to make their majority of the money outside the US. That is unlike Facebook, that is unlike Apple. that is unlike Amazon, that is unlike Google. While they all have international presence, Netflix is actually trying to make the vast majority of their money outside the US. So what does that mean in English? It means China, it means India, because that's where 1 out of 3 people on the planet live, in China and India. Now, read between the lines. They came out and they actually said that they're having a this is their words, a long, long runway into India. Chief Product Officer Greg Peters says that the company is starting to see benefits from bundling with internet service providers or mobile providers to pay TV operators, making it easier to find the Netflix app for customers, meaning they have to shove it down your throat. You want to know another company who you needed to do that, to shove a product down your throat? AOL. How are they doing? Chief Product Officer says there are still pockets of consumers, pockets where it helps to make the sign up easier, even in America. Because there are parts of America where people haven't heard of Netflix unless you jam it down their throat in a package deal. Okay, I'm listening. Is it in like a preschool where kids don't know how to spell Netflix? I don't know. We recognize we are making huge cash investments in content. Yes, and Netflix has some of the most phenomenal content in the upper echelon of content. I'll give them that. And we want to assure our investors that we have the same high confidence in the underlying economics as our cash investments in the past. So their free cash flow was negative 859 million versus negative 465 million. So what are you seeing here when they add all these millions? Their growth is exploding, right? But the amount of money they need to spend to maintain that growth is also exploding. Now, yes, this is a mixed bag report. However, I would lean more towards sucking than anything because their Q4 projections were abysmal, absolutely abysmal. And the fact that you're saying you have a long runway into India scares me. What do you mean along? How many billions are you going to blow on brand new content before you could break into India? By some consensus, is the largest population on the planet, that in China. Like that's a very big deal. That is a very, very big deal. You see, you might sit there and wonder, like, why isn't it super important for, like, a Google or a Facebook in India? And granted, it's important, but the difference is in those countries, um, a lot of advertisers aren't going to dump a lot of money to post ads on Facebook when you have extreme poverty within the nation. India has extreme poverty levels. However, they're becoming more technologically advanced. They're trying to lift their population through the dark ages, much like China has been. And they're trying to see which one of these consumers are going to use Facebook. Every one of them. It's free. Google. Every one of them. It's free. See where I'm going with this? Netflix? Not free. So if you're having trouble breaking into India, there's only one reason that happens because people don't want to pay for your stuff. People rather watch free stuff on the internet, legally or illegally. They'd rather just sign up for their local content rather than watch Netflix. That is the only reason. It's not like the Indian government didn't come out and say, sorry, Netflix, we don't want you in our country, which is exactly pretty much what China did. Not pretty much, it is what China did. That's why you have companies like IQ. So I was very disappointed in that. They say they have a long, long runway into India. You know what that says? Your growth is going to subside. You're already projecting lower earnings. The amount you're spending on all this content, I love Netflix content, is going up through the roof. I'm not bullish on this earnings report. I am looking right now at a stock that's up almost $40 approximately. And I'm looking and I'm saying I'm not excited about it. And I'm shocked Wall Street. I'm That's a lie. I'm not shocked Wall Street popped it up because Wall Street does stupid things all the time. I'm just looking at it and saying I wouldn't want to be a long-term investor at Netflix at these levels. Now, look, Netflix, I don't think it's an amazing company. Don't misconstrue my words. But for an amazing company, you have to take this into consideration when you're looking at an amazing company. That's the weekly of Netflix. That is the weekly of Netflix. Okay? Netflix better be an amazing company if you're trading all the way up there. Now, one thing that Netflix hasn't done in a million years, and by million years, I mean pretty much since October 2016, is hit the 50 moving average on the weekly. That 50 moving average is down by under 306. Now, I'm not coming out and with full confidence saying Netflix is going to go red tomorrow. In fact, the odds of that happening are minuscule. But I do want to share with you exactly how I'm going to trade it. Step one. Again, write it down, rewatch this video. If you're in the room, I'm going to repeat it tomorrow and you don't have to worry, but I'll say it if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. The way I'm going to trade Netflix tomorrow is the following. I'm going to do a one and done strategy, and I'm going to do a high five strategy. The next thing I'm going to do is the following. I I wish I could see an example of it. You know what? Maybe I'm going to draw it out with Microsoft Paint because whoops, that looks kind of funny. One second. I'm going to draw it out for you. And it's going to be a little bit of a crude drawing. What is wrong with my mouse? It's like something is stuck here. All right. So basically, what I want is this. I want to see a bar that comes in like this. Just please bear with me. Please bear with me on this. I know, Picasso at work here. You want to know how I draw people? A circle, a line for the body, like a stick figure. That's how I draw people. And what I want to see is I want to see a 1 or 5 minute, laugh all you want. And then when I execute this crap tomorrow and you're like, holy shit, it worked, just remember I was drawing for you little childish drawings in Microsoft Paint. Then what I want to see is maybe something that looks like this. Um, like this. This color, this green cross could be red or green. And then what I want to see is the break of this level. That's scenario one. Scenario two is I want to see this, and I'll explain exactly what this means. Bear with me. It's worth it. Believe me. I want to see something like this on the 5 minute with elevated volume. Then what I want to see is an inside candle here. I'm not sure what color this one will be. I really don't care what color this one is. I don't care where this body ends up. And then what I want to do is I want to short it afterwards for the first break of the 5 minute. So if it doesn't break on the next 5 minute bar and it goes something like this, then I want to, it could go. I mean, this would be the perfect scenario if we get something that looks like this on the 5 minute, like bear flag rising wedge. That would be a perfect scenario for puts. But you basically want to just short under the first break of the 5 minute. Now, that's not to say I'm not going to be going long Netflix because I probably will with little quick, sexy scalps. But, this could be on a 1 or 5 minute. I'm looking for a 1 or 5 minute digestive pattern followed by puts. Not only that, I'm looking to do the one and done in high five, which is very obvious, and you guys know exactly what that is. Does this make sense to you guys? Yes, in our room. Do you guys get this? Do you guys in the room understand at least what I'm saying? I mean, all right, okay. You know, I'm gonna save this thing. I'm gonna save this thing, and I'm gonna save it as Mark draws like a 2-year-old. Mark draws like a 2-year-old. There. So when I pull this up tomorrow, we'll see. That's how I trade Netflix tomorrow. Fundamentally, long term, in terms of like a year, I'm just not bullish on these earnings. They'll have to prove something else to me, and they might. Now let me tell you what the analysts are going to say tomorrow, because a lot of these imbeciles, excuse me, I mean fairly paid Wall Street executives, a lot of them on Netflix already have $400 strategies. So wait, Max, you're asking if it's on the 1 or 5 minute? It's on both, Max. It's on both, Max. You see this top right there? See on the top left? So you look on the 1 minute first, and then you look on the 5 minute after. Not five and then one. You don't. It's not like I don't know what to look at. You look at the one first because it's going to be on the one first, and then the five. And you need something that looks like this. The color of the pluses are irrelevant. All right. No, good question. I want you to understand. Okay. In terms of the analyst, and again, I feel like I'm 90+% correct. The analysts are going to do the following. The majority of them are going to reiterate their targets, while some of them are going to raise. The reason for that is a lot of them already have obnoxiously high price targets. So you're going to get slight raises or reiterations. Remember, this is the same exact thing I told you on Amazon where everybody was going to raise the target right before it sold off. It went red and we were buying puts like in the morning. I laugh because it's just so funny like how stupid analysts are because very few analysts know how to look at something objectively because you have to understand these analysts are all biased. If the analyst is covering something with a buy, their firm owns it. So, for example, an analyst talking about a buy rating on Netflix, his firm has who knows how many shares of Netflix. And he's sitting around saying, yeah, yeah, it's bullish, it's bullish. They want a go to guy, they want a yes man. Yes, yes, it's bullish. Look, it's gapped up. This is one of the shittiest, crappiest, garbage earnings I have ever seen for Netflix in the past couple years. Maybe not 7, 8 years ago. Excuse me. But these earnings suck. They're horrible. You want to fill your head with BS? Oh, I think Netflix is good. No, it isn't, ladies and gentlemen. And that doesn't mean it will go up or down because I'm going to be looking for a short and long. I shared with you how I'm going to go short. You know my one and done strategy? Look it up on the internet. Again, this is how I'm going to go long. You'll know exactly when and where I'm looking to go long. This is the other way I'm going to go long. You're going to know exactly when and where. And I just literally drew out for you the way I'm going to go short. So 1 minute will be extremely hard with options. I agree. Netflix moves dollars early. So if you have like $1.50 spread or $1 spread, keep in mind that Netflix can move 5 points in a minute. So it's all fair game. Not saying you should play it heavy or at all. But that is an excellent point, Deuce. I completely agree with you as well. So with that being said, that's how I'm going to go short or long Netflix tomorrow. I shared with you my analysis. My analysis is the real analysis. These earnings sucked. Believe me, they sucked. That's not to say it will go down. That's not to say it will go up. If Netflix was gapped down 40 points now, I'd be like, eh. Now it's kind of hard to say if I want to buy it or sell it. The fact that it's gapped up is actually the entire opportunity. But do yourself a favor, whether Netflix goes to 420 or whether Netflix drops, don't lie to yourself, okay? Don't lie to yourself and think what they said was good, compared to what they've said in the past, at least. Yes, there are some good things they said, but believe me, it's far outweighed by the negative. So with that, why don't we get into our precise daily stock levels right over here? You can screenshot it, take a picture, take a snapshot with your phone, jot it down on a paper with lightning speed, and pause this video later and go back. These are algorithmic levels in the Q, Spiders, IWM, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. Notice how close the support and resistance are for Netflix. That's interesting. And of course, our game plan in Forex. It's actually not cron. I'll just go ahead and tell you what it was. What I'm watching here is CERS, a little name we took some garbage. I took some garbage calls. They're showing $7 after hours, but it has no volume, so it means nothing. I bought $7 calls for 10 cents. I bought 50 of them as a lotto play. So I'm risking 500 bucks on $7 calls. I found them to be awkwardly cheap. Like I looked at this stock and I'm like, why are these calls so inexpensive? It honestly did not make sense to me why these calls weren't like 20 cents. They were trading at 10. And I was like, right at the end of the day, like where the stock was at highs, and I was like, you know what? I'll try 50 of them. This stock can easily push 7. You're having a big day with big volume. Maybe we get one more move, maybe we don't. And I took a phenomenally light lotto pattern. So when I'm used to taking two, three, four, five, $6,000 worth of options, in this case I took $500, just to give you an idea. So very low conviction, but maybe we get a move tomorrow through 691. I got a I got a Forex trade for you guys. One trade. Forex trades have been quite on fire recently. My account exploded in value over the last 6 trades. It's so weird how my Forex rolls. Like I'll just run like loser, 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 winner, 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 winner. It's one of the strangest things. I can't even explain it. I do make money for myself overall. Here you have a buy limit for US standard lots, New Zealand yen. Here's where I'm looking to get filled if it pulls down to this level. Here's where I'm looking to get stopped out. If it pulls down to this level, fills me and stops me out. And here's where I look to take profit if I get filled and it pops up to our levels. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go into our full stock analysis. That's your stocks, my levels and thoughts. Good luck on trading Netflix tomorrow. We're the largest, fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.